What's up? What's good? What is happening? Welcome to my live stream, The Actual King Smith. And this is a crypto video. All right. Before we get into the content for the day, we're streaming across multiple platforms here. You can find me at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at The Actual King Smith, and Twitter at Actual King Smith. If you're watching this on YouTube, do me a little favor. Hit the like button for your boy. Help me out on the algorithms. That's the algorithm over here. Now, what we have going on today is an Ask Me Anything, also known as an AMA, with the Mad Mogul himself. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, this will be my second time having the Mad Mogul on to talk about his cryptocurrency project. He has a little bit more information that he is going to talk about. And I've got some questions and things for him. So there are no pre planned questions. This will be a conversation between me and him and you, the viewers. If you have anything as he's talking about his cryptocurrency project or the community project, and there's questions that you want to ask, this is your time to ask those questions and he will address them. Before we get into it, in the Discord is a link to the Mad Discord channel that has all different types of information and channels in there, and the community's growing. I'm in there from time to time on Discord, asking questions, seeing what's going on, setting up poker tournaments with the Crow fam and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see what Matt's gonna come up here and talk about today, and we'll get that going. Let's see. We have Lyle Ellis checking in. Said, "You just break out of jail, bro." Just kidding. Hope you're doing well. Hey, this is the third person that's said something about the burnt orange today, and we've got Alex Jardine that said, "Let's go." So, Matt, I talked you up, man. Let's bring up your face up on the screen, brother. How you doing, man? Uh-oh. I don't see your audio. We were just fine with the audio check a second ago.
I was muted. That's all
There
on me.
you go.
Yeah.
User error. What's going on,
So
man?
I'm just chilling, but we got to get the live space up on Twitter so we can have people come in and ask some questions and sit around on Twitter as well.
There we go. There we go. I tell you what, why don't you introduce yourself, and I'm going to go over to Twitter and make sure that the word is spread.
Will do, will do. So my name's Marcus. I am kind of into real estate as well as crypto. And that's kind of where the project has started. I'm invested heavily into real estate and I'm invested heavily into crypto. So I want to bridge the two. I want to create an easy, seamless transition between working collectively in groups, within a nation that has already been a practice to working collectively in groups internationally, which is a new practice or newer practice with the new technologies and ease of use that blockchain and Web3 has opened up for us. Along the way of getting there, I want to build up with a gaming community because that is where my heart and my soul has derived from. I've played games since I was a young little tut, since I was 5 years old playing Mario on the 64, and I don't think I'll ever stop. So, crypto is another way, in my mind, very important and essential to connect and bridge the everyday gamer to crypto benefits like decentralized games and gamification or decentralized gamification so that we can play our games and earn a profit all along the way. Now, my thought there is we need something that's actually sustainable and has revenue to it, something that has true real world backing. And that comes from the real estate side of things, which I again am heavily invested in. I already have properties or a property now because I sold one, and we will be able to use that to grow and gain a foothold in a market that is becoming harder and harder to penetrate. So yeah, I would say that's the gist of who I am and what I do, my man.
Okay, so I'm going to break it down in simpler terms. All right. because I have a simple brain. Okay, so what you're looking at doing with this cryptocurrency project is to bridge both a community as well as real estate. And one of the ways to be able to do that, right? So, like, the what's in it for me, it's not just the community aspect of it, but by having or owning some token or cryptocurrency, I will be eligible for profits from real life real estate that you're investing in.
Yeah, it won't be done exactly by holding a cryptocurrency coin. It'll be done with a token, so non-fungible tokens. It's been a new age practice of managing assets and managing participation in communities. So we'll use those NFT utilities to manage the distribution of rewards, which will come in coin form. Right? So it's not just holding the coin to get a benefit. The coin will have utility and have fun use case. However, it will be essentially the method of pulling your rewards out as well. When I, secure rental incomes over a quarter and I invest it into the coin and give out that coin as your reward for buying into that building, you would then be able to take that coin and liquidate it for yourself or hold it for fun because there will be fun gamification things there where we can then look at growing that market as well and keeping it tied into the real world with real estate.
All right, now, so correct me if I'm wrong. You do or do not have a technical background when it comes to like the technical side of
I
cryptocurrency.
do not. That is most certainly my weakest aspect here, and that is where I've relied heavily upon building good relationships to handle that for me because I certainly will not be the one writing the code. It just will not happen.
Okay.
It would take me far too long to write the code, than to pay someone enough money to get them to write the code and get it all checked out and verified and Certec and have people look at it and examine it would be far cheaper and easier of a process than to go out and learn coding myself right now.
Okay. So in our previous AMA, you gave the concept out. It sounds like you may have more of a timetable to go along with this. So, do you have your team in place? And follow on question is, what's the timeline looking like to kind of get things rolling?
For sure. Before I answer, can we actually just open up a Twitter space? That was intentionally my goal to be active on Twitter throughout the week as much as I can, so people on Twitter can come in and hang out and all that. Um, is that possible?
I don't know. We can certainly try. I'm on my desktop. Can you do Twitter Spaces on a desktop?
I got my phone here, but either way, let me see. Can you do it on your desktop? I have not tried that before myself, but I
Nope,
can
I don't
certainly.
see it. I do not see it on the desktop space. And let's take a look here. Nope.
Twitter
I
Blue.
don't know if we can integrate both this AMA product here along with the Twitter Spaces as well to where you can,
Jump between both. Okay.
yep, to
Okay.
or at least they can hear what's going on.
Got
And
it.
be
I
able to
need
ask
to
questions that way.
somehow. Okay. Do you have a phone as well, by
I do.
chance?
Yes, sir.
So if I open up a Twitter space and you join the Twitter space and we put the Twitter space out there, are we able to keep one ear open to the Twitter space and one ear connected?
We certainly can. It would involve, if you're going to be doing most of the talking, I'm going to have to mute at least myself until I'm asking questions or anything like that. But
Yeah,
we can
perhaps
definitely make
we
this work.
mute it through YouTube, but we keep the voice open um, through your radio stream, and then we keep. Hmm, we'll have to finick with it for sure, but let me create the space and we'll get to it.
Sounds good, my man. We're doing some innovative things over here, people. Trying to make it work out, trying to bridge the technology and make the technology work out. All right. So to keep dead space from going on, we've got my man Harvey Martinez that said, "What up, fam?" Harvey is somebody that his background is into real estate as well. Have y'all ever, chatted or talked outside of our poker games? Okay.
Yes, I have spoken with Harvey outside of the poker games. He's definitely a good guy to know, and we've had a few conversations here and there about real estate. We've definitely played over poker more and had some more in-depth conversations there. More familiar ones. And I think we've both, had other conversations about a few other projects that we're involved in, right?
Yep. Good. 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 Good.
So
All
I
right.
do have the space open. I'll throw an invite to you,
I see it, and I am joining.
and then I'm going to share it with a tweet.
All right.
Ask me the hardest question, get a reward.
I like it. We got Martek in the building. Shout out to
Nice.
Martek. I appreciate you for tuning in live, my man.
All right, so I got that there. My mic's muted for the phone, but when I have to answer a question, I can unmute and you can mute, and we can go like that.
Sounds good.
All right, so that way people can come into the space, they can chat it up in the space and ask us questions as well while we go over some of the details.
Hey, there's a question in the chat, and I think now is a pretty good point to ask this. A question from Lyle Ellis. He said, "What makes your project stand out over the other ones going on in the crypto NFT world?"
Yeah, so I'm never going to take away from other projects. I don't like doing that. So I think there's a lot of amazing projects out there. That being said, something that will stand out with mine is there is a utility case that has an ongoing, it has ongoing profits. I'm able to talk about the profits from my last 2 years. I can show you the 2-year data from the building I've owned, and it will continue to bring real fiat revenue stream in. So we're not just looking at bringing on crypto investors and crypto assets and crypto um, movement of finance, but we're also looking at getting fiat to come in, right? So if we're also playing a bit into the real world side of things on fiat, I think that will be a bridge that really stands us apart from crypto only projects, ones that have only crypto related sources of income. So then when, Kronos takes a 30% dip, that doesn't destroy our project because we still have real life income that's tied to fiat. And as crypto and the value of crypto drops, the value of fiat rises. And as the value of fiat drops, the value of crypto rises. So if we're in both sides, we get to take our slice on this side, then take our slice on this side, then take our slice on this side. And we can make it work so that we're gaining during downtrend markets because we're heavily invested in fiat. That's what I think would be major differences between us and a lot of crypto projects.
Okay. Hey, Marcus, go into the Twitter space, make me a speaker right now, and actually to get value out of the Twitter spaces as well. So this video is live on Twitter, but I understand that
No one can
Twitter
hear.
spa-
Yeah.
that the Twitter spaces are there as well. But if you're
Yes.
muted, nobody's going to be able to hear you. So
Got it.
either a
So I'm
we
unmuted.
okay,
There we go. I
yep,
think we are now rolling live. Let me just finick with my headset. I think this will do perfectly.
yeah. If you have your volume down on your phone and talk, people should still be able to hear you in the Twitter space as well as the computer, but you're going to have your computer source muted and have your audio going through your ears. That's a
So
way
it,
I think we can make that
okay.
work.
Okay, so since my mic's here and it since our mics pick up our voices, like you can't have my volume on in the thing and I can't have, so like I will have to listen to that because you wouldn't be able to also listen to it, right?
Yep. The by doing this, here's the pros and cons. By doing it this way, we can won't people in the Twitter spaces won't be able to come up and ask questions in the audio form of that.
Unless my mic picks it up. So here, give it a little talk, King. I want to see, like, mute yourself on the YouTube and give a little talk on Twitter and see if people can hear it. It's not optimal. It's not optimal. To try to balance the Twitter and the YouTube. I guess we can push it all to YouTube. I do apologize, my Twitter people. I did just shill really hard to you. Martek wants to come up and ask a question. One second, one second. Hey, hey. You're good. You're good. So is this working? Can you hear yourself in YouTube? That makes sense. That makes sense. Maybe we keep it open so that people can come up and ask, even if they can't hear themselves, or we just be very conscious of our YouTube stream so that our YouTube stuff continues.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. They people do have the ability if they want to come up and verbally ask a question. I can shoot the link for them to join as well, and they can join the same way that you joined. That does give another option. Shout out to Harvey
Yeah,
Martinez.
let's do that. I've got two more Twitter Spaces anyway in the upcoming week. I can continue to work on the Twitter, but let's keep it simple and go back to YouTube. You're right.
All right. So in the
Apologies.
pinned messages, I have a link. If you want to come up the same way that Twitter Spaces have to verbally ask a question, feel free to hit that link that is pinned on whatever platform you are watching this video on. The link went out to Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, and I will need to add the link to the Twitter, which I'm going to do right now. We're making this. It's a struggle stream, but you know what? We're making it happen.
And just in
We are
case more
making it
people
happen.
join the Twitter, you can leave it open so that they can get funneled here. And I'll just leave it muted so I can't hear anything and no reverb. So Joe asked a fantastic question. Since you're using NFTs, how will you calculate the cost and price since you continually need liquidity to purchase new properties? Surely you need to sell a lot of NFTs to get capital for property. You're right. So luckily, since we already have a property, I don't need to get the liquidity for that property. I already own it. So I can do a personal transaction between myself and a company that I set up for, or a holdings company I set up for the project, the Mad Moguls. So I don't have to base it off of how much do I need to amass, right? I can base it off of what I think is fair, a fair point of entry. And personally, I think 77 Crow is a very easy point of entry for a lot of people. And I'm starting with governance. Since I'm not going straight to the throat and going for the property NFTs immediately and valuating the properties and going with the property immediately and we're going with governance first, that will help me amass what I'm saying is about 25% of the funds that are from that sale for acquisitions of future properties after we do the first initial one, the first governance, and the first coin. So since I have three different stages of ramping up before I even have to look at acquiring another property because I have my first property and that's a seamless transaction where I don't need any capital up front to do it. I don't need, 20% investor, you know, buy-in to do it to get the mortgage from the bank, and I already have all that. I can just seamlessly transfer the ownership, and that gives us three steps: the Mad Moguls, which will bring in about 25,000 to 50,000 at the evaluation I did before the little dip. So it's probably a little bit less now, and then off of the coin, which I haven't done any actual mathematics behind to figure out how much I will actually pull out of that sale. I think I'll give out 10% of the coin up front. And these are numbers that are flexible. And what I mean by that is we can chat it over. If you want to come into the project and have a back and forth about what you think is best and what I think is best and what others think is best, I'm always happy to do that because it helps us get the most refined product. So I don't want to set those steps in stone yet because we haven't even done our governance release. Once we do the governance and people have a voice and a say, we can set those up in stone. And then we can go from the coin to our first acquisition, which I already can deal with and handle very seamlessly. And then with the three different 25% of this, 25% of this, and 25% of this, we pool that for our first actual large acquisition, whether it be a multi-unit building that's already up or it's one that we develop from scratch, because I do have the connections to make that happen. I've got building plans. I've got workers at the ready that I could hire to build it. I've got relations with companies to buy, materials. I've got quite a lot of those connections set up fairly well, thankfully, due to my family connections. That's their business. That's what they've been doing for 10 plus years. So I've got a lucky little in there. So where we decide to go is up to us, but I'll facilitate what we want. And that's the
That was
idea.
my question: is who was going to be the main body of people that produces the proposals for the governance? Is it just you, or will there be other entities that are going to drive the proposals that the governance token and the community is going to
Right.
do the
So I've
voting?
thought about that, and I want the rarity to matter for the governance token, or not token, but the governance NFTs. Um, and the way I'll do that is by granting a hierarchy of access and responsibility. So starting at the top, we've got 7 that will be prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the 7 primes will be ones that who can put up the actual, okay, are we selling? Are we looking to acquire in this market? Are we looking to expand into this market? Are we looking at, whatever those proposals are, will be from the 7 primes. And then everyone will have voting rights. All 7,777 will have equal voting rights, proportionate to their value invested. So this is a newer development on the idea. Instead of it just being the moguls up front, we do it just the 7,777 moguls to decide. When we release the coin, we have it so it's weighted by the coin, but you must have a mogul to enact your weight with that coin. So it gives reason to hold mogul, gives reason to hold coin. Um, Beyond just pulling your rewards from the fiat, buying it and bringing the price of the coin up and all of that fun stuff. Then we've got the 70 royals, is what I'm calling them. And they will be the ones who will get, you know, they'll be able to speak during the quarterly meetings we have. They'll be able to bring up ideas verbally. They'll be able to ask questions and participate in our discussions that we have quarterly. And then with the 700 warlords is the tier down that I have for that. They would be able to watch and participate, and not participate, but just watch and observe these meetings, right? And then we have the majority of the rest would be common. And the commons would be able to have access to all the financials, all of the reports, all of the caps, the recaps of the meeting, highlight points, things like that. And then there's going to be a small subset of despot collection. And this will be done by implementing a 50% trait. And by putting the 50% trait on top of 3 basic traits for the commons, we will have it so that half of them, up to half of them, may be less than common, less than, basic. So they won't even get reports. They won't even be able to have access. They will be despicable, Ugh, ugh. And yeah, so I think that's just a little bit of fun thrown in there, right? To give it a little bit of hierarchy. I want the higher rank one, and that's a gimmick, a gotcha gimmick, right? But it's fun, and I like those things, so I'm definitely implementing it, right?
Something that I've seen across various cryptocurrency communities are projects that, as they're starting, if they have their team in place and everybody's well defined, those seems to be the ones that have more success. Do you have your team in place yet?
No, I'm not fully in place. Um, I have some people in place, but there are a lot of pieces to the puzzle that I'm going to grow. And I think there's some projects that have some sort of success um, with a core team that's very strong, and that's an inner team getting, a lot of that success. I don't want to go that method. I'm not trying to do um, inner investor, growth. I'm not trying to get 10 people and bolster our 10 bags at the cost of 100. I'm trying to make it so that it'll be a fair approach. Right now, we're still in talks of how we'll do the moguls. Um, we're giving away 777 of the 7,777. And by doing so, that'll give us a nice foundation of investors. And we're also doing it to bring people into Chronos. We're also attacking game markets. We're attacking a phone game market. We're attacking um, PlayStation and console markets. We're going to be attacking gaming markets on the PC. People that have no relate. Yes. Okay. So,
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you. I wanted to
oh, good.
prep the next question and bring it up. Don't
Yep.
focus on the question.
I'm bad
You
at
do
that. I'm bad at
you.
that.
You do you, and then I'll drive because hey, but before we do, we still have that Twitter space open. But since there's no audio going
And
there,
nothing's happening either. So we can go
I,
ahead and close it now, I think.
I'm going to recommend to close it. Yeah. All right.
Everyone will be able to come out to a Twitter space with 21 million on Thursday, as well as one with Sean, Loaded Lion on Friday. So
Nice,
a couple
nice. Yeah,
more in the run.
yeah. I saw when you asked me to do this initially, I was like, all right. And then when I saw your blitz, if you will, of different conversations that you were having with your Twitter space yesterday, coming on with me today. Tomorrow you have
It's
your
open,
open,
so
right?
I've still got to figure out something for tomorrow. I will figure
Okay.
it out soon.
And then Thursday and Friday, I said, all right, he's starting to kind of set things up
Yep,
and knock down pins along the way, hit those milestones.
yep.
So let's come back. I put this question up here. Question from Joe from YouTube. Would the crypto project be linked to an LLC?
It'll be linked to multiple. So I'm going to start up my first one, which I'm already in the process of. I've already claimed the name. Um, Mogul Acquisitions and Developments is the name that I've claimed, and I've got 90
Same
days
as
to
the MAD.
correct. I've got 90 days to incorporate it in an LLC, but it's off the market for me. We've gone through that process a couple times and got rejected because my shareholder structure was not to their liking. So I'm just dealing with some bureaucracy there before I fully incorporate my management company. This company will not be directly tied with the crypto space. This will be my management company. Something that I've been thinking of doing for a long time. Direct competition to my father. One of those things. As for our investments and our acquisitions, we will always use that management company so that I can, take care of our business as we need, and I can show the reports as we get them, and I can show you our costs even, so that everyone can understand every step of the way where any little bit of money goes, because I really do preach transparency and it's important. As for the LLC that will be tied to our crypto project, I'm going to create a secondary one, initially in our market, and that one will be for holdings. So by doing so, we've got a management company that has billings and has taxes and has their own thing going that really has no business in the acquisitions company, because we're looking at buying these acquisitions, holding them, it being taken care of, and us getting paid, right? So this will be the holdings company that I acquire the properties into officially, legally. The properties will go into these holdings companies. And the way I want to do it, I was thinking initially to do it in my name and in my partner's names. However, to build more trust, I've heard the suggestion of putting it in escrow, or potentially I'm looking at and thinking about the idea of giving as many moguls that have a mogul lock in their mogul for life to get a share of the company. That's a tentative idea, but it's there. Um, I definitely want more people to chime in on how I do that appropriately and how I do it in the best interest of the company. Because I do want this company to be used for holding our assets so that we can, see great legally, it's all right there. It's not sketchy in any way. And then we have an agreement between that company and my management company. And that agreement, there's some clause divulging all costs, blah, 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 so that I can make sure that everything is very transparent and flows very nicely. But me having my own management company will allow me to still make my own acquisitions and still do business with other companies, like other communities, perhaps. Things like that, I can still set up through my management company while still having a kickback to to the coin and to the market overall. So that's how I'm thinking of setting it up. Again, all up for discussion. If there's any points, definitely we can elaborate on them or change them or finesse them.
Okay. Now, during your initial ramp up, right now, the only place that I can find information about Mad Moguls, anything related to that, would be your Discord channel and your Twitter. Do you have any ideas of creating like a website or a landing page, something that, because not everybody uses Discord? I'll be honest,
Yep.
I have a set time that I make myself go into Discord because it's not a part of King's own personal daily use.
Mhm.
But how are you going to? What are your plans, I should say,
Yep.
to get this out there to work with other communities and drive other external people into the community and project?
Absolutely. So we have various marketing plans, employees that are in development and going. However, the main thing for what you're asking is the website. Are we putting a website up there so that people who are just online can go take a peek? Absolutely. We were thinking initially of just getting an easy click and play software that we can edit. However, my coder is looking at potentially taking on a bit more of the chunk, and he wants to develop one from the ground up so that we can integrate some more utilities that we want there. Some of the governance aspects, like hierarchy governance access to various parts of the site, things like that, will be a lot easier if we don't just copy paste from a site that is there ready to give you all the codes it has, but has very little um, specialized things. So that's how he says it. He wants to make his own as opposed to use one. So I'm inclined to let him. Um, I'm inclined to own it, own the domain. I like that. Makes me feel better about not relying on another third party. Um, so hopefully he can handle it. If not, I'll be creating connections that will be able to handle it. Um, but I have faith in him. He's a young lad who's learning quite quickly, and he's in school for this, so it fits for him.
Something that I should have asked you earlier, and this is my bad. Where is all of this going down at? Where's the physical property?
Right. So New Brunswick, Canada, St. John. You can look up the address, 174 Guilford Street. You can go look it up on the government website. You can see how much I paid for it. You can see how much it was sold for prior to then. You can see the market around it. You can Google stats about St. John, New Brunswick market. You'll find that we have an extremely low vacancy rate. Our prices are going way up. We are the only deep sea port on the eastern seaboard for Canada. It's what we are. You can take a look at my father's. If you don't want to invest in me, but you're still interested in investing in property management and having a management company take care of your assets, go talk to my father. 3dprop.ca. 10 years in business. Completely legitimate. Please, by all means, helps my family every way.
I like it. I like it. And it that speaks to you and how you're talking about you're big on transparency. Because as I'm listening to other Twitter Spaces and other cryptocurrency projects, sometimes the transparency is just you're just not entirely sure. The security of the cryptocurrency project, it's you always kind of have to be careful. And then you can't guarantee value on anything, but what you can try and do is create a solid foundation that allows the cryptocurrency and the rest of the ecosystem that's a part of it to gain value. And it sounds like, at least to me, you have the the things in place that are going to generate that value for the cryptocurrency or for the crypto project as a whole. Is there anything that you're still not sure about right now that
There's
is on your
plenty I'm not
mind?
sure about.
Okay.
Tons. There's plenty of things. Who should do what? Do I have the right people doing this? Should I invest so much into bringing people from gaming into crypto? There's plenty I'm not 100% sure on, and I love when I get to discuss it with other people, especially people who are resistant, who are against it, who want to, figure out the true grit to it, because I always find um, the answer is interesting. After I've gotten to, give my rebut, it's interesting, right?
Okay.
And I've really liked that. It's been nice. So I hope that through it, and again, I'm not trying to rush things. I'm not trying to drop a product tomorrow. I'm trying to do it in a slow, controlled fashion. Right now, the idea is we give out 777 tickets over 3 months, and then we start doing blocks of thousands to sell. And as we do our 7 blocks, over 7 months, people get to jump in during one block, build up to the second block, have some sales that are going above block price, and then people will be fighting for the blocks that are open to sell. Um, I just want to make sure I do it in a fair way so that in 3, 4, 5 months, people don't come back saying, hey, this is all insider trading, man. No, it's not. Most certainly not. And I'm either going to do it in a method where I don't take a founder's cut, or I take a founder's cut, however, I don't invest into the governance, so that all governance is completely out of my hands. You guys tell me what you want. Because, yeah, some people said to me I should don't take a founder's cut and just invest. Put your money where your mouth is. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. But if I just, buy half the project myself and direct half the project myself and, be big cahoons, it's just a pyramid scheme, same thing. Come in, get closer to the middle. But if we do it in a nice methodical method of opening up, I think we can really make it fair for a lot of people to get in ground zero.
Okay. Okay. I have a project management background. It's not something that's apparent or obvious because it's not just displayed on any of my social media, but there's 5 stages of project management. You have the initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, control, and completion. If I were to listen to you right now and give an evaluation, I will put you in the initiation stage where you're defining the project goals, creating a business case, and working through and getting that project charter and figuring out who the stakeholders are. Are you documenting that anywhere that if somebody wants to say, hey man, what's the documentation on some of this stuff so I could go and read it myself? Has that stuff been built out already?
So there's initial ideas on Discord, and I am working at collecting them and putting them into a nice solid white paper. So when we release a website, when we do start to really have traction, I can give out something that is nice and formal with a clear cut, with lots of opinions, with people's input already there. Right now, I'm not going to drop a white paper based off all the opinions that I've jabbed about over the days and thought about and had some back and forth about, because I'm changing them every day to try to fit into the best method that I can create as we find the inner, as you say, the inner circle. But it's not insider trading, because I'm not just going to be, okay, guys, we've got 100, now let's do 1,000. And it has to be done in a method where even if someone in 2 years comes into the project, they can buy a piece and not just be getting blindsided. Because, if I start selling an acquisition in 2 years, I still have to make the cost of entry equal, in the sense that, okay, the values of the property is 100,000. Um, cost of entry can't all of a sudden be $50,000 to buy into a building, or, $10,000 to buy into a building. I have to always make sure that even if the moguls may, get all bought up and their prices may start to rise because their governance and they control the company in time, that while that builds up, that everyone's able to enter in equally. Because if I start getting an inner circle, which I hate that idea, I do need a team, people who are working on it, and I need to reward that team. But having an inner circle of, you know, investors shilling to get a certain, threshold and then dumping their back. No, absolutely not. Can't do it.
That was one of the things that I wanted to ask as well, because I consider myself a retail investor, meaning I don't come with thousands upon thousands of dollars to be able to, come in on something. I'm a guy that works a 9 to 5. I've got my different additional stuff that I have, that I'm generating additional income and things as well. But some of the things that keeps me out of like the Board Ape Yacht Club other side metaverse. I was interested in that. I looked at the price of what it would cost to get one and said, "Hell no!"
Gone, done. It's a different
I
game,
said,
right?
"I'm
Like
out." I said,
you're
"I'm
either
out."
in or you're not.
Yep. It's like, man, like I'd have to go give bone marrow, sell a kidney, you know, borrow from the bank just to be able to afford this, Board Ape Yacht Club NFT. And it keeps the regular guy out. So it sounds like you're looking at bridging, real estate, cryptocurrency with the idea of the regular person in mind. And that's what made me go, okay, yeah, I want to be a part of this. Absolutely. Because over time, the people that have been able to gain wealth. And I'm not saying that gaining wealth is like the major factor for me, but it is a factor for me when I'm considering something. But part of it is if you're able to kind of get in early, whether, whatever, that's the people that gain wealth. But you said something about, hey, even if you're not an early person in, I don't want to make the barrier of entry to be so high that somebody a year down the road isn't able to, come in, because it's how are you going to be able to how are you going to be able to do that?
The way that I see myself doing it is during each acquisition, we have a new sell point, right? We acquire a new building, we're selling a new building. And by selling a new building, we're selling a building collection, an NFT collection that will be rewarded by that building. So building A collection will be from the building I already own. Building B collection will be from our first building decided on as a mogul community. Building C, collection C, et cetera, et cetera. Every time we amass these acquisition um, pots and we decide to use them, and we'll be amassing this value through the startup of the company, and we'll be amassing this value through a portion of the revenue and a portion of the profits and a portion of the taxes on the coin. And as this revenue gets amassed and we decide, okay, we're going to buy this, we're going to have this collection, this is going to be the purpose of it, here's the plans of it, we'll have a new entry. You'll get to buy into a new building, a new project. And we can then set the price of that project by how many tokens we make for it, whether it be 1,000 for 100,000 building or $1 million project with 10,000 entries. We can fluctuate that level and we can look at the actual value and how much that is for a regular day-to-day rent. We see the rent, we're setting rent, so we understand what day-to-day living is, right? Um, so as we're able to do that, we're able to see as we need to raise rents to go with inflation because crypto is destroying fiat, or oh, we need to switch our rents to crypto rents only. We can do all of this really easily. We can we can do so much and people can enter at any point because we can do a new project. We can do a new building and new people are always investing in real estate every day. And a syndicate is just the coming together of it. So we're just trying to create an easy process where we come together.
Yeah. All right. Now, I've asked a couple of times and I still don't feel like I've gotten this. What's the cadence for trying to get things going?
Yeah, So I've already started getting things going. I've gotten some people that I've, dedicated that I'll give tickets to. I started a project that ended, or a game entry to come build support that ended 3 days ago at the beginning of the month, for Discord Pokemon. 7 people will get tickets. Great. Now I've got 70 more to give away. I'm giving 70 away in a game that I started last month, early in the month. And I've gotten a lot of support from that game. I'm looking at doing Apex now over the next 3 months to give away another batch of 70, and I'm gearing towards giving away 10 batches of 70 through different methods. One being Twitter, so I will be giving one away here for the best question after I go back and think about who had the best question. So you better ask me the hardest question. If you don't have the hardest question, I'm not picking you. I'm not a flexible, easy guy. You got to be hard on me. Hard. Hardest question if you want the free entry. So we'll be doing 70 over Twitter. I guess this counts as Twitter in this case. And then we'll have another 8. I'm thinking maybe League of Legends, maybe um, some Apex, some Fortnite, some COD. A lot of different popular games that don't have maybe huge crypto um, support in any network, but we're playing with Crow. Um, so we're going to onboard people into Crow through all these various methods. And I'll do that by giving away projects for free, different things I buy throughout my days and just offload for free. And as I do that, um, I'll bring people onto Chronos through my project, even though I'm giving out other people's project, right? They'll be coming in for interest to my project and those projects. They'll learn about Crow, they'll learn about crypto, they'll be onboarded, right? And by helping them onboard from games to Chronos, we'll hopefully get a nice Chronos backing to enjoy us as well, because we're bringing people for them. Here, look, please, here's people, new investors, please invest in us, right? So I think that will also have a nice little effect there. I'm still looking for more ways to grow and give away 70 blocks, so they're not all tied up yet, and I may continue it longer than 3 months. So I may do that over the course of 10 months.
Okay. I was about to bring on Martek. He had joined our live stream, but he said that he's having some technical issues. If you get it figured out, come back. What happens when you join before you're able to come on live? You're considered backstage. So if anybody wants to join and visibly and audibly ask a question, feel free. You're not live until I bring you from backstage to on stage. So there was a question that was in the chat as well from, let's see, buy high, sell low. I think this is a fantastic question. Is coin A swappable with coin B? Because you were talking earlier
So it's
about,
not multi coins, it'll
okay.
be multi NFT projects. There will be one coin. So as we funnel the profits from all the properties in, we will funnel it all out to the individual NFT holders at the same time. So everyone has equal access to the coin all at the same time.
Okay. Because I was,
From each various property, everyone still gets their money at the same time. So that no one's able to, like, I dumped mine before you got yours. Um, that stuff's not cool. So, we all get it at the same time. If you choose to dump, that's your choice. You want to pull out your profits, you pull out your profits. That's fine. If you want to hold it for one of the various utilities we have that we're working on, great. Um, but that's a personal decision. I want to make a quick shout out to the Chronosapien Alliance. They're here. I'm looking at joining in. I've done my buy. They just need to interview me.
very nice. Shout out to Polish Crypto Ambassador and the Chrono Sapien Alliance. I appreciate y'all joining. We had a comment in here, and I thought that this was interesting. Joe from YouTube said, I think you need to do an inner circle or have experts. He said he's watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. The audience doesn't always get it right,
Neither do your
especially
friends or
when it
family.
comes to choosing property, etc. So, I mean, with having the governance token, earlier you had talked about rarity. Is there going to be any weight to like the amount that somebody holds or the rarity when it comes to like the governance and being able to vote?
Yep. So let's go over that one again really quick. We've got 7,777. That is the mogul NFTs. At first, they will each be 1 out of 7,777 weighted. Same. equal. Then we'll drop a coin. When the coin is here and Mogul 1 gets 10,000 coin and Mogul 2 gets 20,000 coin, Mogul 2 will have twice the weight as Mogul 1 in voting. Now, the access or the hierarchy access will be the top 7 get to the primes, they get to set the laws, or they get to set the proposals. I call it the laws, but the proposals. They put out the ideas. Okay, maybe they officially put out the ideas after talking to the royals, after discussing all internally, after having the meetings. They get to decide what those proposals are. They decide, are we, pushing, are we voting on option A, option B? Are we looking to have, 4 consultants go out and find us properties? Are we doing it method A, method B that we discussed? Is there any decision that has to happen? They get to create that decision or question, and then people get to vote yay or nay. And that will be the deciding factor. And then when we have the coin, that will just bolster it. So you'll have same weight of the moguls, regardless of rarity, but the coin, how much skin in the game do you have? Because if I have way more skin in the game, you better believe I'm not letting someone who has $10 tell me I can't sell my building. No way. Right?
Okay. All right. Now, to be clear, when we first came on and had our first AMA several weeks back, you wasn't sure if the Mad Moguls was going to be the name. Is that what you're going to work with?
Still not fully decided. I've had the idea of Mad Chronos Moguls so that when we look at other chains, we can, when we're looking at creating other ones in other countries and other networks, we can do whatever Mad BSE Alliance or Mad Solana Alliance or Mad ADA. We can then brand it. So I'm not 100% sure if it's just Mad Moguls. So the coin's not going to be for at least 3-6 months. It's going to be a long time before I even look at it. But I'll make sure it's accessible to all, 100%. Even, fair. Yeah.
Okay. And since there might be people that may check this out that might be new, explain what blockchain you're going to be working with initially launching on.
Yeah. So I'm fairly heavily.
Because we can't assume it'll
That's
be.
right. You're right. We don't know that everyone here is a hard Chronos diehard like myself. And I am. I'm invested fairly heavily into Chronos, so I will be launching my project on Chronos. I've learned a lot there. I've found some nice community mates there. I will then be launching on other networks or looking at launching on other networks. But to give you a high level overview of Chronos, Chronos essentially is a centralized exchange with a decentralized component tied into it. So you can connect with your centralized exchange to the decentralized component very easily, and then you can play with your DeFi and have that exit stream through the centralized exchange. That's how I see Chronos myself, and I like it. I like playing on these spaces, and I very much enjoyed my time on Chronos. So I will be starting here, but I don't think that other networks are not suitable. I don't think that they're any worse or any better. I don't have that knowledge. I will be using as many as I can because we are users. We are the end user. We are buying it. We are selling it. We are using it to create what we're trying to create on DeFi. And regardless of if I use the perfect network or if tomorrow I do, or if I use all of the networks at once, we're just using that to facilitate what we're doing, right? That's all it is. It is the technology, the way we can show and track. And as we grow, we will, base ourselves on Chronos very happily in my hometown as well. And if we look at other places where I don't have the same support I do right now, right where I am, we're in my location physically and virtually, then we look at a new network, right? We find a new network, we create the support there together, we, start another one there, and then we bridge it cross chain. So at first, no, to answer you, it will not be cross chain at first. At first, we will be just on Chronos, and then we will be going cross chain. And the buy price for the Mogul collection will be, I believe, 77 Crow. I don't think I'm going to change that. I'm pretty happy with it. It follows my 7 mechanic and it's fun. I don't need it to be a whole lot of money. I need people who want to be around, and that will come with time, you know? I don't want to do everything out the gate right away and then all of a sudden get rugged by myself. No thanks.
Shout out to Money Buggy for the question. He's been a long time supporter of my YouTube channel. It's a really smart guy over there. So I appreciate him joining in and asking the question. And look, this is why we do this, because Money Buggy might not have seen my first AMA that I had with you, but you reaching out to these different content creators in various places allows you to get this out there to other people. Whereas as you're building up, you start getting your team together, you start getting the documentation and stuff together. It'll give people like Money Buggy, like Polish Crypto Ambassador, or somebody else that may not know who you are, an opportunity to allow them to do their own research and decide whether they want to invest in this or not. We have there was a question from Buy High Sell Low related to price, and I believe that you answered that when you talked about the 77 Crow. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe that'll be the buy-in price. Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
don't think
Joe
I'm gonna fluctuate. I don't need to. It's cheap enough. It's not a worry to me.
Joe from YouTube said, "Please tell me that your token will be backed by USDC. Crow is not exactly been stable recently.
You're
LOL."
right.
Hearing that statement, tell me what your thoughts are when it
Yeah.
comes to like the stability of cryptocurrency and
So
how you're
this
going
isn't
to
this
maintain
in my
price.
mind is not exactly unstable. Luckily, I've watched Bitcoin since it was about 500. I've seen unstable, and when you go up $20,000 in the matter of minutes, that's unstable. Um, this just dropped, a third of the market, maybe cut out, and they're like, "I'm out, done." And at the end of the day, it is a dip. It is not a huge dip. It's a huge dip, but it's not like be all end all in my mind. If you look back through historical data, um, there's been dips about this size many times. Um, if you look back the years, you can see that that trend went from 10 cents to 20 cents. That's 50 cents or a 50% dip at that point in time. Right now, we're only dealing with about a 30. And in crypto, that's not the end of the world because I started buying the shit at $1. So I don't care if it drops another 30 cents. I bought more. I put $2,000 more in. So it's okay with me.
Same.
Um,
But I'm also a long-term
yeah,
investor. I'm
me
not a
too.
swing trader. I'm not a
Me
day
too.
trader. So my investment strategy doesn't, involve around that. I'm thinking long-term projects, which what you're talking about is intriguing to me
Right.
because it fits my investing strategy and what I'm trying to do.
Now let me loop it back to being backed by CDC or USDC. Um, so the way that I initially thought I was going to do it was I was going to get MMF as a reward token and do the classic reward token thing. I've had some more thoughts on it.
Okay.
That will definitely be revised. I may not be just flat out supporting MMF because I'm not 100% on if it's long term sustainable for the everyday user. There's a lot to MMF. I think that there's some people that can make some really good money there, and I really love their name, which was the initial thought, right? But I definitely think I'll be going more towards having multi liquidity pools with stable coins, Crow, and creating multi liquidity pools to bridge. I think that'll be more of the focus as opposed like instead of having a percentage that goes towards reward tokens, I probably will go with a larger percentage that goes towards multi liquidity pools to raise multi liquidity pools and raise the floor of them type thing. Um, and then to work on a bridging and having a bridging nice and clean. Um, I think that would be the way I want to go about it. But again, all up and open for discussion.
Okay.
All open for discussion.
Question from Buy High Sell Low. Is there a limit on the buys on the NFTs?
I've thought about it. I don't want a whale to come in and drop our floor or rug us or just, pick up half and just never use them and leave them there dead. Because it's a low entry point, my thought process is if I'm giving out 777 slowly and I'm allowing batches of 1,000 to be bought at a time 7 times, then if I cap the amount that you can buy, you'll go and get other wallets. But if I do it where, it opens up and everyone's going crazy for the buys, it'll be really hard for a whale to slick in there and buy 100 different times because it will be, all instant after maybe the first one. The first one I've given, whatever, 400 out free, and they're ready to go and buy, and people are interested in buying, and then we have our first 1,000 drop, and that one might buy slow. Maybe, right? Only talking about 70,000 crow, it's nothing crazy, that's for sure, comparative to the long run. But it might not buy out. And then if it doesn't really quickly, there might be a little whale that gets in there, a little one, and that's fine. That may happen. But I don't think it'll happen for the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth and seventh. I think by then it will have built up over the month, and I think, action will have been seen, right?
Okay, cool. Uh, Matt Mogul, we are coming up on an hour, and as I said at the beginning of this, there wasn't any structured preset questions or anything. The intent was to just have a conversation between you and I and the viewers as well, give them an opportunity to ask you any questions. And it looks like the questions are slowing down. So there was another one that came in, and then I'm going to give you the floor to maybe speak on anything that you would like to say that you might have thought as we were talking here. So, question in the chat from YouTube from Polish Crypto Ambassador: cooldown period on withdrawals. I don't understand that question, but maybe you might.
I don't fully. I think it's geared towards how I'm going to be paying the coin to, like, he's talking about implementing a vesting program for the rewards, I think, for the NFTs, so
Okay.
that you can't just grab your rewards. You have to vest it over whatever 6 months, so that you have to, you'll get your rewards twice before you can even sell or something along those lines. And that would be to falsify support. In my mind, that would be showing false support because you're forcing them to hold. Um, I would personally, I would personally rather just leave it open to open market. Yeah, there may be some people that do a little bit of manipulation, but overall, as long as it's managed really well or managed tight, yeah, vesting it with LPs, yeah.
Okay.
Um, so that is definitely what he was saying for sure, and it maybe giving them the option is more my style, but yeah, keeping whales away is more. It's not keeping them away; it's making sure that they're hard earned instead of they came in one day, bought, and sat away for a year, and then next year, gotcha.
All right. Hey, I'm glad you understand the question, understood that question, because I did not. That is not something that I think about personally myself. So, shout out to you for being able to address that without Polish having to come back and re-ask it. So we're at the hour. Questions have slowed down. Take the floor and maybe talk about anything that you would like to get out here, and also mention your upcoming AMAs, spaces, and the platforms that you'll be having those on.
For sure. I'm trying to decide on who gets it. I think it's Joe. He's gotten a few good questions in there. So, Joe, I think you'll get the Twitter one, which means you won't be able to get any more Twitter ones going forward, but you can still participate in the poker one, which is one of the things I'm going to bring up.
All right. Hey, first of all, shout out to Joe. I don't have my sound effects board, so yay, Joe. All right, man. You have the floor.
So, poker, I've done three now. I did two weekly ones, and then I did a monthly one. I think, King, you've been to two now.
Mhm.
Joe came to one. We've had some other of your viewers here that have been there. I quite enjoy them. I love the game. Big gambler, unfortunately. Um, so I'm just trying to create a little method for us to come play together in a nice, healthy environment to connect, have fun, build up on the project, build some trust by giving me money and then expecting me to give you money after. Um, things like that. Speaking of which, I still have NFTs to send out from them.
Hey, the poker games have been fun. Just like you said, I've been to two of the three. It's very low key. If you ever want to join those, look for either my Twitter or Mad's Twitter, which his Twitter handle is, what is it? Mad Mogul,
At Mogul's Gone Wild.
at Mogul Gone Mad. All right, I'm gonna put
Oh,
that in the
I
chat.
got it all messed up, eh?
At Mogul Gone Mad is your Twitter handle. Those have been fun, and it's a very low key way for you to hang out with the community. And there's video and audio as well. And if you ever want to ask any questions or just kind of understand what's going on, whenever Matt hosts those poker games,
I'm
come and join.
thinking I'm thinking two this weekend, Friday, Saturday, to try to hit both markets. I may do like an I don't know. I may do both on Saturday, like an early Saturday game and a late Saturday game. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be busy Friday, so well, that's what I'll do. I think I'll do two games on Saturday, one early, one late, um, so that we can get some people over the seas into a game. I hope I have enough to keep the tables full. That's the trick, is making sure that enough people are ready to play at the same time.
Yes, and he
Um,
hosted on pokernow.club. It's free to register. You don't need to do anything or pay anything to like register or whatnot. It's totally free. It's a software as a service platform. But what he's doing is there is going to be a crow buy-in, and it's announced like what the prize structure is going to be, and there's a chance to win a lot of the NFTs that's around kind of what we're doing as well. So if you're new to the NFT space, it's a very low cost way of getting in and learning the value of NFTs. Because I'll raise my hand and say, when it comes to NFTs, I'm fairly new, but I made a goal that by the end of 2022, I purchased my first NFT January of this year, not knowing what it was. I really didn't do a whole lot of research, but I got one. And then I started listening to different Twitter spaces and uh, going online and reading various things about the value of what non-fungible tokens can be if get into the right ones. And during this poker tournament, it's a way to, or poker game tournament, whatever, is a
it'll
way
become a
to just,
tournament when there's enough people,
yeah.
huh?
it's it's a very low cost way to just kind of come in and grab a drink and sit down, play some hold'em, and hopefully win. I haven't won any yet, but your boy's coming for a championship down the road.
I got my second game, but that monthly one, that didn't go to me, unfortunately. Oh, that was some big wins. Taco Cat, one of the gamers I picked up, came and swiped us. He's not even a Kronos investor, takes home the pot. What a guy he is.
That's what's up. That is what's up.
I
Anything
will
else,
be
man?
giving mogul entries in poker as well. I'll be doing it weekly. I'll be giving out a total of 70 that way as well. So that's one of the ways to get a ticket. I will
Oh,
only let people get one from each way, so that you can't get more than 10 total, even if you participate in every single thing. But I don't think that people will be able to do that, because I do a lot.
also too, I'll just throw this out there. Because y'all support me, all right, just by watching the content, I've been known to randomly say, hey, look, I'll cover your buy-in. All right. If you follow my page, look for me putting out a tweet or something on one of the times that I'll be playing, where I'll try to make it fun and interesting and also fair, right, to the people that may want to have a buy and cover, whether you can afford it or not. It's not about that. It's trying to bring in as many as people as I can, because I just met Marcus this year. All
That's
right.
right.
but
That's right.
but the way that he talks, he's presented himself in a manner that to me tells me that he's trustworthy. So I'm here, man. I'm all in. I'm rocking with it. I can't wait for things to get rolled out and the vision to become more concrete. So be sure to follow all my social medias for opportunities that when we're playing poker or we have anything else, you know, I'll cover your bond. I want you there. You know what I'm saying? So you can see what it's about and have a chance to win the same as me. What else do you have that you want to get out real quick, man? And then we will
I
wrap
think
it
I
up.
will have plenty of time to cover more stuff on 21 Million's Twitter space and Sean's Twitter space. I just want to thank you very much for the YouTube space that you've provided here for me today. I appreciate you coming at me with some questions and giving me, some nice balls for me to crack out of the park. I really do appreciate having these chats. The first one was excellent. It gave me a lot of confidence, and this one even more so. So I really do appreciate all of your involvement, King, and in every way that you've been able to help me and how you've been a part of just the last month of me trying to grow this. I thank you very much.
Rock on, brother. I appreciate that. I got two comments that I'll read out to you, and then I'm going to close out the stream. We got Joe from YouTube said, can't wait for another poker game. Shout out to you. And we have Polish Crypto Ambassador said he can't make this weekend, but please post on the Crypto Ritual Discord for all Chrono Sapien Alliance members to get in on the poker game. All
We
right. I
will.
like
We
that.
will.
I like that.
We
Well,
will.
hey, Marcus, thanks for joining my live stream. I'm going to boot your ass right now and close out the live stream, but don't go anywhere. I'm just going to close out the stream and then have a quick little conversation with you.
Of course, my man. Of course. Take your time. Enjoy your ending.
All right. So that was the Mad Mogul himself, Mr. Marcus. Like I said, you know what? I have a bad memory. I can't recall exactly. I know it was because of Bach Finance, another cryptocurrency project that I'm in that is what's likely introduced me to Marcus. But as kind of things shifted and evolved over time, I've decided to, create that connection and work the relationship. And as he started kind of talking about the Mad Moguls and things, he got me intrigued. For me, it's about the community. I like the cryptocurrency communities that are tight knit, that are transparent, that have people from all walks of life. Like, I'll tell y'all, none of my social media stuff is private. And with a name like King Smith, I'm not hard to find. If you want to go look me up, I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. I play Xbox, all that jazz. Reach out. Let's chat. I'm a believer in trying to connect people from all walks of life and live this thing we call life. All right. So shout out to Lau. He said, "Yep, it was from Bob." See, my memory's trash. All right. Kid, I wish I had my sound effect board. So look, I want to thank y'all, the viewers, for rocking with myself and Mad Mogul here for the last hour. If you watch this on YouTube and you like the content, hit that like button. All right. That helps me out on the algorithms. Okay. That's the algorithm over here. And anytime that Marcus wants to come back, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, I'm interested in doing a AMA." I just said, "Hey, bro, say less. When?" It's that easy. All right. I don't he ain't paying me for this. I am somebody that's intrigued into the project, just like I hope other people are as well. That is all I have for this live stream today. Shout out to y'all, salute, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your Tuesday. Peace.